Okay, so with the next two crafting classes, I'm gonna show the stuff to do it, but not the actual like crafting process because you kind of get the point. I basically just upgraded most of my stuff on my gathering and crafting stuff to being level 15 now. Weaver being level 20. I kept the level 1 stuff just in case. Well, actually, specifically in case of this. But I'm gonna try to get them to their secondary item, and then I'm gonna move on to the next one. I'm at least gonna just show those, and then you could probably fill in the blanks of, oh yeah, I did the crafting stuff for it to get to level 15, like, between the cuts, you know? Good evening to your adventurer, and welcome to the Goldsmith Guild. Have you come to observe our artisans at work? Indeed, it's a marvel to watch goldsmiths transform raw metals and uncut gemstones into sparkling rings, earrings, and necklaces, some of which possess magical properties no less. You know, if you'd like to try your hand at goldsmithing, the guild is open to adventurers like yourself. No prior experience is required, for we teach all you need to know about the craft. Would you be interested? It pleases me greatly to hear you say so. As the first step, I would have you understand the purpose of our guild. The vast mineral resources of Thanalan have given rise to a grand goldsmithing tradition, which have been refined through the ages. Our techniques are renowned throughout the realm. Our creations are held in the highest of regards. However, we of the XIV lapidaries, because is it lapidaries or is it lapidaries? I don't actually know. I don't think I've ever had to actually sound out this word before. The premier source of Oldon jewelry, we are not content to the rest of our laurels. Seeking to advance our craft, we turn our eyes towards the east, the only place in the known world whose goldsmithing is set to rival our own. We built the finest facilities to beckon our masters hither, and blended their foreign techniques with ours. Our guild quickly became the center of Eorzean goldsmithing. Aye, here you shall benefit from the refined wisdom of countless veteran craftsmen, and you shall learn to see the potential of your materials and shape them to your will. These are essential skills, for a goldsmith must hone his eyes to identify and appraise all manner of materials, and when needs, be recognized limitations for what they are. It is even said that a master goldsmith can ascertain the authenticity of a man himself. May one day come across such a vision, but even the most magnificent jewel begins life as a rough-hewn stone. It must first be cut and polished before the delight of the eyes it can delight the eyes of its brilliance. If you would become a goldsmith, you must need refine yourself as you would a gemstone. It will take much time and effort, and there is no guarantee for success. Should you be certain that this is the life you seek, speak to me once more. Are you ready to do so? Yep. You shall find Mistress Serendipity on the workshop floor, just down the steps. Show her your burning desire to learn, and you are certain to receive her permission to join. Okay. Gonna eat a little bit more marmot steak. We're almost out of this, by the way, of the massive amount of stacks we had before. Stop right there, you little troublemaker. People are working here. Oh, pardon me. I had you mistaken for a mammoth for a moment there. Okay, let's start over, shall we? What brings you here today, adventurer? Do you perchance have aspirations to become a goldsmith? Yes. Really? That's great. Welcome, welcome. I'm Serendipity, and you may call me Sarah. Or is that a bit too informal? Sorry, I'm still accustomed to this whole guildmaster business. Alright, what did you say your name was again? Adrian? Alright, Blue. Well then, Blue Cashmere. Work hard, and one day your creations may line the shelves at Esthethame's aesthetics. Trust yourself that you can achieve anything. That was sufficiently inspiring, I trust? Good. Next order of business. Here's your new chaser hammer. Well, I say new, but it's actually a bit weathered. But never you mind that. Just show me that you know how to hold it so we can get started. There we go. Just like the other one, where we got a little bit of one color and then a lot more of the other one. We just did the same thing but for blue and green, I believe. What exactly was it? No, not that. No. Oh, I guess it was this one. Crafting? Disciple of Hand. Yeah. Oh, it does actually show what we got from it. That sucks. Okay. So, first things first. Go into here, grab the weathered chaser hammer, create gear set list, plus goldsmith. The way that I'm going to be doing it, since now I have to, is I'm going to move this so it aligns with how this goes. It's going to basically go tanks, healers, melee, DPS, physical range DPS, magical range DPS, Disciple of Hand, Disciple of Land, in that order, vertically. And there we go. Funny enough, now that we've actually hit level 1, we could actually just quickly do this and just repair all of our gear. And there we go. Literally the... Like, oh, we could also repair her needle as well. Where is it? Neck and ears. There we go. The, Menfina's earring can also be repaired like that. You may also notice that we have actually started to eat into our, grade 2 dark matter, which means I'm gonna actually need to make a spot for both rank 2 for like 3, 4, and 5, just in case. Man. And there we go. Gonna just quickly move these like that so I could slot that in right there. There we go. Well, I kind of need to explain something. I have changed my image for the crafting, for my crafting setup here 3 times now, because I found a better place to put things. Basically, I've lined up everything that has similar quality, so it's the 3-hit touch combo, which is basic, standard to advanced, basically 1-star, 2-star, 3-star as it shows there. The next one over is prudent, which increases quality at half the durability cost, but cannot be used if this is enabled, if these two are enabled. Then we have precise touch and intensive synthesis, both of which can only be used when the condition is good or excellent. Then after that is the focus, touch, and synthesis. Not actually sure why they didn't do precise synthesis. Oh well. Focus, touch, and synthesis can only be used with observe, which for 7 crafting points you pause for 1 step. It's actually really useful if you're waiting for something. So you could go like, wait, I want to wait 1 turn. Use observe. If it switches over to good quality, you could just use precise touch or intensive synthesis. If not, you could then use the focused ones as a supplement to it. Yeah. And they have preparatory touch and groundwork, both of which have a greater cost, but do so much more in terms of on what it can and how much you can do it for. Then we have these two over here, which trained finesse. Yeah, trained finesse you can only use if you have a stack of 10, but you can increase quality with no cost of durability. So if you get to 10, for 32 you could just keep spamming this for the rest of the cost if you have like infinite infinite points just lying around. Or you get Brigitte Blessing, which dumps all of the stacks and yeah, just dumps all of the stacks to get up to 300% extra for it at 10, I believe. No? Huh. Then we have the two things that increase touch and synthesis. Do I? Nah, I want to keep it lined up with these two, which are more risky and have more of a chance of failure than success, but they don't require anything to use, and they are really good in a pinch if you need them. I then have things that restore durability, and then careful synthesis. Careful synthesis, when I get to level 62, replaces basic synthesis. You might think that's a little bit weird since it has 0 cost, but having 150 that you use for 7 has worked out fundamentally more than anything else has. And I think right now, having this be my basic setup, and then when I get to 62, swapping those two's position, so I have the things that have 0 cost right there. Yeah, the things that have 0 cost right there. Pretty nice. Okay, so let us talk to her. Yeah, so it's wind with minor fire. That's how it is. Serendipity would like to officially begin your training as a goldsmith. Let's get started. Though to be honest, I'd swear you've done this before by the way you wear that hammer on your hip. Mind you, even if you do have some experience, a responsible guildmaster must ensure that her charges have a firm grasp of the fundamentals. Therefore, I command you to craft me a copper ingot. Simple, really. All you need is copper ore and a wind shard. Our guild supplier, Eisten, can supply with the copper ore, and I gave you a few wind shards along with your hammer. At least I think I did. If it turns out you don't have any, you should probably get some yourself. Isn't this exciting, Blue? It's your first real challenge as a member of the Goldsmith Guild. Now show me the ingot you've done. Okay, cool. We could have kept a lot of the copper from earlier, but, oh hell. So let's just quickly sell those items for a little bit extra cash. So you want me to... I believe it's 2... Or maybe... No, I think it's just 1. Oh, it's 3. Okay. I was right to be skeptical of how wrong I was. There we go. So, just like before, can't really do much until later, but that's okay. Because we're going to get those levels pretty quickly, nonetheless. Oh, did you forget what materials you needed? No, I got it. You know, I think this is quite... utter garbage, the worst. Not even for making a chamber pot. Quite, Gigi. I'm the guildmaster, and I get to decide what's fit for a chamber pot. Please excuse me. He gets a little bit overzealous at times. Gigi is my assistant, and he has a habit of butting in with his opinions. Most mammoths have a rather simple, capable of no more than rudimentary speech. They can be relied upon for menial tasks, but little else. Gigi, on the other hand, is quite intelligent, and quite stubborn, I might add. I suspect that due to his age, he's been with the guild for an eternity, ever attending each guildmaster, but recently he's been coming and going as he pleases. Kneel before Gigi, the one true guildmaster, respect my authority. Ignorant mortal, suffer my wrath. It's like this every day, Blue. I'm afraid the experience he's accumulated over the century of assisting guildmasters have made him arrogant. It's quite intimidating, really. I may be the guildmaster, but he's like a walking, talking archive of all knowledge to do with our craft. Oh, I completely forgot about your ingot. Sorry. I was about to say, I think this is very good for a beginner. It's reasonably pure and well-formed. I dare say you've got a knack for this, Blue. What you need now is practice. So keep practicing with your hammer and come back when you've got more comfortable using it. Bugger off, Greenhorn. There you go. Cool, now we're level 3. Is that the same type that we're currently? Yeah. Of course it is. Okay. So, we just got a bunch of stuff. We got only a few things to craft this time, but we've also got like a few things up here we can do. Specifically, we actually have the ability to craft some stuff for our crafters. We need to get to level 8 for this, but as I said, that's going to be kind of easy since all we have to do is just keep going down this list. Okay, so now that I've done several things, I can actually complete this next quest. Oh, there it is. I have one of those. We have better stuff coming, so I might as well just grab the money. Oh, Blue. I'm honestly a bit surprised to see you. Most newcomers find Gigi's evaluations so harsh that we never hear from them again. I'm so glad that you didn't take him seriously when he said that your copper wasn't fit for a chamber pot. I mean, really, it doesn't even make sense. You would even make a chamber pot out of... Well, anyway, I hope you've been working hard, because your next task won't be nearly as easy as the last. Listen well, Blue. I want you to make me 3 copper gorgets. For this, you're going to need copper ingots, which you'll very conveniently learn to make last time. Now, I directed you to purchase ore from our stem before, but there are other ways to obtain it. You could dig it up yourself, or perhaps befriend a lowly miner and convince him to share you some. However you choose to obtain your materials, I'm sure you'll put them to good use. Okay, just gonna make 3 of those. Oh, I actually found a second use. I actually thought about this for observe, because again, like, you can use precise touch or intensive synthesis when it becomes good condition or excellent condition, but when excellent condition is over, it then goes into poor condition, which halves everything instead of making it 1.5. So what you could do afterwards is then go observe, wait 1 step, and then immediately use focus touch or focus synthesis. As it's gonna sound really weird to phrase it like this, but it's almost like a counter to it, where it's like it goes, you then take a step back and then go into it. So yeah, it's... I never actually thought about it like that until I was like doing some stuff right there. Don't keep me waiting for long. There we go. Well, in my opinion, your gorgets are gorgeous, Greenhorn. Oh wait, I meant grotesque, ungodly. An affront to the gods themselves, for shame. Beg your pardon, Blue. I'm afraid that constructive criticism isn't one of GG's strong points. But where was I? Ah yes, your gorgets are well made, strong and functional. And that's the way they should be, as they're meant to protect one's throat. When it comes to basic pieces like this, we don't have much creative freedom. Still, this doesn't mean that we should put in less effort, especially since the techniques used to craft simple accessories are the same one used to craft elaborate ones. Now when you've learned how to handle your hammer, but there's another tool for you to get acquainted with. With this grinding wheel, you'll find it easier to find the finishing touches when you craft. Try using it and you'll see what I mean. Keep your nose to that grinding wheel and you'll be ready for the next challenge in no time at all. Now it's just giving me the tutorial again. Grab the money because that's all I care about right now. And there we go. We don't need to go any further than that. But we do need a little bit more to get to level 15. Which is... or at least would be nice. There we go. Now we can do a little bit more with that. So I did all of this one and all of this one, so I might as well just start on this one. I don't have any of the gems. Oh wait, no, they sell these gemstones. I'll probably yeah, I'll just probably make a few of the things up here and around here. I don't want to go into brass yet. I could start working on brass, but I'll just make like the 4 of these. I'll meet you back up the at the Alchemist Guild when I'm finished with here. So believe it or not, I was gonna try to do something else before this, but I think I wanted to do alchemy first, get alchemy up to 20. It looks like... oh, I was like, what is that like noise? Is that coming from my end? And then I realized, oh wait, it's this. Putting that like right next to my ear, like camera-wise. Ah, adventurer, one of my favorite kinds of people. I find your unquenchable thirst for exploration neatly complements a burgeoning hunger for the sagacity that marks our dedicated members. Welcome to the Alchemist Guild. Though I hesitate to define alchemy in such narrow terms, our main field of expertise is the concoction of various potions and elixirs. There are salves to treat all manner of afflictions, not to mention miraculous libations that enhance and is it imbibe? I think it's imbibe, not imbibber. It's imbiber? Yeah, imbiber beyond her natural physical limits. As an adventurer, I'm sure that you can appreciate the eminently practical applications of our work. What do you say, ma'am? Can they take up mortar and pestle and join our ranks? Wonderful! Now then, allow me to give you a brief history on the guild here, before we tackle the official paperwork. Though alchemists are presently known as the quintessential brewers of potions, the profession itself arose from the desire to achieve an as of yet unrealized ambition. The original driving purpose behind our art was, and perhaps still is, the discovery of a process that can transform base metals into gold or silver, and the mystical medium thought necessary to effect such a transformation is the Philosopher's Stone, which itself believed to have a Panacean properties and be capable of bestowing eternal life. I'm going to move this slightly over so I can see it better. There we go. Though success yet eludes us, years of endless experimentation towards this golden goal has initially unintentional consequence of unearthing a wealth of knowledge in the field of alchemical medicine. Regretfully, alchemy's potential to enrich the lives of the masses was first met with a wave of distrust, and our ability to create helpful compounds was akin to dabbling in black alley witchcraft. The profession eventually gained credibility in Ul'dah through its integration into traditional medicine by Fondale's Frontistery, an institution known for producing respected physicians. Once the city's shift in perception became known, budding alchemists wishing to study without fear of persecution journeyed to Ul'dah from every corner of the realm. It is not long before this gathering of inquisitive minds banded together to form the Alchemist Guild. Thus, while our organization is intensely focused on perfecting and sharing the fruits of our research, it is also of paramount importance that we uphold the reputation of alchemy itself as a legitimate discipline. If you would revel in the secrets of our arts, then you must be prepared to shoulder the responsibility I have described. Take a moment to dwell on these words before you truly enter the world of alchemy. Have you arrived at a decision? Are you ready to exalt the arts of alchemy and commit to the responsibilities of your enrollment entails? Sure. Excellent. Then allow me to direct you to our guildmaster. Gaining his approval is the last test that you must pass before becoming a full member of the guild. You'll find Guildmaster Severain tending to his experiments at his personal workbench. I must warn you, he is rather intense individual. Pray, choose your words with care. Okay. What was it this time? Ah, you must be the merchant's lackey. Come to bring me my imp wings. What's happened then? You're not a lackey. Inspiring alchemist, you say? Speak up and pray that I heard you awry. Did that babbling fool Detrich send you to me? I specifically requested that I be disturbed for nothing less than the coming of a second calamity. Do I appear as a kindly mentor to you? My research demands my absolute and undivided attention. Now be gone before I'm forced to... But wait. Perhaps I can. Yes, you may be the very assistant I require. I have had a change of heart. Congratulations, I approve of your application to the guild. It is with great pleasure that I welcome a fellow seeker of the knowledge to the fold. We can dispense with the interminable initiation ceremony, yes? Here is your first emblic. Try not to drop it, for there is much work to be done. Yes, much work. As you can see, they use water and lightning in a minor degree. It's still really interesting to see which ones use which, because it makes sense, you know? It's like, you are using water, and then you're adding a spark of life to the potions. It makes a lot of sense. So, effectively what an emblic is basically, you have a mortar and pestle. This is just the pestle. Or is it just the mortar? I always forget. Prepare that really quickly. As you can see, I've gotten a few extra things. I got my, my goldsmith up to 20 just so I can get, like, extra crafting and gathering gear. Weaver. Just making sure everything is good and fixed. Thing here looks okay. I still need to find some stuff for a gathering, but I think Leatherworker is the one that does it for gathering. Up until a certain point. Let's see. So they want us to do this. There we go. No, no, no. Move set up. Place it right there. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now we are... Yeah, so we have our pestle right here, and our secondary is effectively a mortar. But it's actually really interesting how this whole thing goes about. Guildmaster Savain wants you to use the weathered emblick to perform your first alchemic miracle. I see you've managed to take a hold of the emblick without injuring yourself. An auspicious beginning. Let us see if we can continue this trend of unexpected success. For your first lesson, I want you to use your weathered emblick here to make me a bottle of distilled water. Distilled water is simply the end result of purifying a murkier sample of life's most vital element. As such, it provides the perfect introduction to one of alchemy's most fundamental processes, taking material and refining it into a purer form. To perform this rudimentary exercise, you shall require a pail of muddy water and a water shard. The impure water can be purchased from the supplier standing near the entrance of the guild. The name momentarily escapes me. Esmenet? Yes, that was it. If it happens that this basic task is beyond your abilities, then mayhap alchemy is not the discipline for you, which would be quite upsetting, as I detest the thought of having to select a new assistant. Try not to disappoint me. As mint? Okay. I'm supposed to... Oh yeah, I have all this stuff here. I don't actually need any of this stuff right now. So I'm gonna just sell all that. I just realized that I had 100 and... Actually, no, I'm gonna keep all that ragstone. Do I want... I could get that up to 20, so I'm gonna hold on to all of that for now. So I'm supposed to get muddy water. So let's get... Where is it? Muddy water. Let's get at least 20. There we go. It's quite a bit, but it should suffice for what we're actually going for. Wait, no, not the hunting log. The crafting log. There we go. Gonna make some distilled water. There we go. And I got to level 3 without, you know, putting on our food. So as you can see here, I have a pile of boiled eggs, a pile of salt cod, and a pile of rabbit pies. These are for our combat, for our crafting, and our gathering, respectively. And for right now, that's gotta be what we're working with, because that's all I kind of want to deal with right now. We'll go into more specific foods later, when we actually need to have slightly better stats, but for right now, all we need is that XP buff. Oh, speaking of which, should probably put that on. Eat that fish. Your task is to provide me with 1 bottle of distilled water. Magnificent. Your transformation to an alchemist has begun. Did you understand that the liquid treasure you have made? Yes, it is simply water, but now possessed of an almost limitless potential. As properly distilled state, water provides the base ingredient for all manner of wondrous concoctions. On the other hand, a potion created from impure water is not only unlikely to have a desired effect, but may as well poison the imbiber. Look well upon the substance you have refined. See how crystal clear it has become. Not the most flavorful of libations, but still refreshing to pour over one's head on a stifling summer afternoon. Tell me, How'd you feel the instant of its purification? Such a fine result, this must have sent thrills of excited satisfaction down your spine. Yes, I know well of that sensation. To glean a pristine drop of filthy swill, it is a miracle born of mortal artifice. Nothing can compare to the rush of triumph in the moment when physical laws bend to one's will. Nothing. The greater your mastery of alchemy, the more ecstatic that feeling becomes. Go fill your chambers with bottles of distilled water and revel in each success. I return now to my experiments. When next you disturb me, I shall expect your skills to be worthy of a guildmaster's chosen assistant. So level 5. Got it. So, basically exactly like before, we're going to be crafting a few stuff. Like I stated, my goal is to right now get everything to level 20. That's going to effectively keep us going until we need higher than level 30 gear when it comes to repair. So that's going to be good for a while. But before I actually continue on with alchemy, before I even do this, I actually need to deal with this. So these white lights over here, I've been really neglecting. And currently right now, if we go over to Weaver, we have gear that has empty slots on it. So let's actually go over and show off what exactly that is. Oh, I should also mention that I did a little bit more work on the hunting log, now up to rank 2 has been fully completed, and I'm now at level 18. Like, I am a higher level with my Weaver right now than I am with Gladiator, which is really funny, but not too surprising, considering that several things have been put into place to make crafting classes a lot easier to level now. It used to be that it would take forever to level everything up, especially the way I've been doing it. So it is kind of nice to see that the respective levels have increased, so to speak. Okay, so this area over here, that's called the bonfire, is actually pretty interesting. So over here is where we go when it comes to, like, upgrade our stuff. A little bit. We have to talk to Swinbros over here. The secrets of materia creation. What would you say if I told you that inanimate objects can possess a soul? They can, believe it or not, although the soul in question is not their own, but that of the owner. Through faithful service, the arms and armor that we use come to hold our spiritual energy. Thus we do form a spirit bond with them. The spiritual energy can be drawn out and converted into materia, a special kind of crystal that can be attached to gear to enhance its properties. I'm well versed in the ways of material extraction, and if you wish to learn more about the process, it would be my pleasure to teach you. And I guess that we have to switch to... There we go. Are you ready to commence your learning? Good. As you have gathered by now, materia is the crystallized form of one's spiritual energy. As this energy is derived from an individual's psyche, a volatile beast at the best of times, a degree of variance is to be expected in its production. In practice, this means that you won't know the exact properties of a stone until you cradle it in your hand. Now, materia won't grant you much of anything on its own. Its power must be tapped, see? And this is achieved by melding it to gear. Know, though, that takes the deft hands of a craftsman to meld materia. You can always seek others to attach materia on your behalf. But if you would sooner do it yourself, I recommend you speak to Wahobas. Melding is her field of expertise. If you wish to remove a material from an item, highlight its icon, select retrieve materia. Okay, cool. So, now we have materia extraction. We're gonna just set them right there. So one of the, actually, should I put it right up here so it's on the, crafting bar? Nah. So the way that this works is we take an item like these maple patens and we remove the materia of it. It resets the spirit bomb back to 1, and we create the materia. So the way that this works is that if we go to attributes and we go to gladiator, show this. So these offensive properties right here can be found on red materia. The physical properties right here of skill speed and spell speed. These can be found on purple materia. Tenacity and piety can be found on yellow materia. Blue materia is craftsmanship, control, and crafting points. And green materia is gathering perception and gathering points. This makes a lot of sense. Apparently there used to be certain things to increase your pure attributes. So there used to be like a mind materia that you could just put like 3 mind into something, but this is not really something that we're looking to enhance. We're mostly enhancing our side stuff. So we're gonna deal with all this material later, but we've actually got to just pull all of it out. Because all of this stuff that's been sitting here at like 100%, and we've even sold like 2 or 3 items already that have them. We just didn't have a good way to do it, but now that we have crafting classes, we can actually do this. So the way that this works is that if we have enough for the repair level of an item, we can also slot in materia for it. What else is there? There we go. Did we get everything? Yes, okay. So we're actually looking at quite a bit of materia right here. There we go. Quite a bit of materia. We could just like slot it into things. Okay. Bobhas wishes to teach you how to meld materia. Oh, hello there. I see you're a disciple of the hand like me. Mayhap you're interested in learning how to meld materia to gear? If so, it'd be my pleasure to teach you. Ready to begin? Good. Now then, there's one thing in mind when melding materia. Slots. Arms and armor have a certain number of these slots, and this determines how many pieces of materia they can host. Normally an item cannot host more pieces of materia than it has slots. However, as with most things in life, there are certain exceptions. But this sort of knowledge is for later down the road. Later down the road. There we go. After you become more experienced, you may want to broach the subject matter with Master Mudamix. Off you go. Happy melding. And there we go. Now, you might be wondering why exactly we can't talk to them right now. Well, level requirement is 25. So we're going to need to come back to that later. So, now we have all of this stuff right here. We have 2 for piety. Interesting. We're going to just set that aside. 1 for spell speed, also setting that aside. Neither of those are useful for us right now. Critical hit and direct hit rate. So let's just pull this open. Go here, here, There we go. Okay, let me do some, yeah, I think that's good enough. So, the way that this works is you go to Materia Melding. Let's just go to Gladiator for now. Go to Equipped. So, these brass rings that I crafted a while ago have 2 slots. So, there's several things that we could put onto it. Clearly, Piety and Spell Speed are not going to be as important to us. So, the only thing that is going to be helpful to us is going to be the critical hit rate. And the direct hit rate. Oh wait, we can't actually put that in. Now you might be wondering why. It's because we're already getting that +2 from the item itself. So this is actually a very interesting conundrum that we start getting into later on. Yeah, so this is a problem that we're going to run into a lot. We're going to have materia that we want to place in, but we have to kind of play like inventory Tetris almost, of like, hey, this one's filled up with skill speed, so we're going to take the skill speed ones and put it onto the ones that aren't filled up with it, and we're going to take the ones that aren't that it has a lack of and put it into it. So effectively these 3 right here basically mean nothing to us right now, so I'm going to just set that right there. Next we have crafting materia. Let's go over to Weaver right now. I don't know why it isn't just automatically there. So, as you can see here, we already have pretty high crafting point allocation right there. So, actually we have it on a few things. I kind of want to put it on the heaviest things. So we're going to put +1 control on both of the rings. We're going to put the +1 crafting points on that. If you are melding gear while you're in a crafting form, it does the basic synthesis animation, which I find is kind of funny. Oh well. So yeah. So what do we do with these? Well, later we can actually just sell those. We can sell those on the market board for anyone that actually wants to use it. But for right now, we basically have no use for it. It's basically the same type of thing as, hey, I picked up some stuff that dropped from these antlings. I don't really need it for crafting stuff. I might as well sell it. Right now, we do not need to hold on to all this stuff. We have a lot of inventory space. I'm going to hold on to it anyway. Because I'm weird like that and have a desire to hold on to things. Eventually we'll get this saddlebag that is actually pretty good for storing stuff that we do not need while in a dungeon. So I mostly just throw all of my clothing dyes and materia stuff into that saddlebag. Right, I've got to make sure that everything is up to speed. What I have done. There we go. But yeah, that's effectively it. I'm gonna meet you back at the Alchemist Guild so we can continue that quest line. Okay, this is me from a little bit into the future. I wanted to splice this in right here since we were talking about materia, and I wanted to specifically do this quest right here. You were given to understand that Mudamix is the keeper of secret materia techniques. Uplander is joiner of materia? Uplander desires to join Muchly, yes? Then Mudamix makes braincase of Uplander rattle with secret knowings of materia. But first Uplander must be proving readiness. Uplander showy do attaching 8 pieces of materia, then let Uplander and Mudamix trade tongue flaps again. meld 8 more materia. Okay. We actually have a few more materia to deal with than before. Oh. Nope, I can't repair any of those. So we actually do have several materia, but as you can see, spell speed, gathering, piety, none of these are really too important, but that's okay because we actually don't need, quote unquote, we don't need any of these. Because the grade 1 materia, even though it's going to be useful for a bit, the second you start getting anywhere past where, like, the second you start getting into tier 3 materia, tier 1 materia becomes so useless that you don't even, like, worry about it. You start getting, like, tier 1 materia and you just immediately just sell it off. And the only times you would ever need it is if you were... Yeah, that should be enough. Yeah, the only times you'll need it is if you actually need it for a crafting quest, which we haven't gotten any of those crafting quests yet, but that's okay, because... Man, I can't believe I had just enough materia for that. Yep, there we go. Okay. I'll just set all that stuff down there. Probably sell all that stuff later. Uplander is good joiny skill. Mudamix give Uplander secret knowings of word bond. Mostly part 1 fighty tool bears only little materia, but if Uplander uses secret joiny skill, 1 fighty tool bears many materia maybe. Mudamix teach Uplander secret joiny skill, but Uplander keep in brain case that it sometime work unrightly. Will fighty tool of Uplander bear many materia, or will materia turn into bitty bits? Using secret joiny skill not for unstrung of bladder. Thank you. Okay. So basically what he's done is that he has upgraded us from regular to advanced materia melding. Basically what we can do now is if we had any more materia, we can start stacking it on top. They become a red circle on it to show that we are over melding onto it. And what will happen is that you can get up to 5 slots on any item, but the downside is that every single time that you put another item onto it, and the more that these things are filled up, the more likely it is to break. So if you're trying to put something that isn't normally onto it, like how this skill speed materia isn't normally supposed to be on here, if you start trying to do that, it freaks out. But if everything is already, like, filled up, like, it's going to be even harder to do it. Like, on my main character, like, I'm currently sitting at, like, plus 11 onto something that's already, like, 200, and it's, like, a 17% chance. And I'm like, well, okay then. But yeah, I just wanted to do that tiny little bit just to, like, put this into the video, because I realized I still haven't done that when I was editing the video. So, back to previous me. Okay, so real talk, this whole time I was just, like, crafting some stuff. I'm now at, like, level, 10? Yeah, level 10. So I can do, the 2 missions that are required of me. I was just listening to, some remixes. Like, I was just listening to music this whole time, just, like, crafting just endless streams of just random stuff. I have, like, 21 distilled water right now. Some animal glue. Yeah, I did this whole first one. I grabbed some antidotes, several. I'm actually gonna put them onto the hotbar. Now you might be asking, what's the difference between a regular potion and a high quality potion? And the answer is the percentage goes up a little bit. I don't think the max goes up, but I think the percentage goes up of both of these. So what's the difference between antidote? Not much, I think. Control. Oh, the recast time is slightly lowered, but like, that's not really that interesting. Yeah, as you can see, it's like 32 to 40. This one's 600 to 800. And then this one is a recast time of 1 minute to 54 seconds. Now those 6 seconds can mean everything. But, like, in the long run, it's... Like, right now it basically means, like, nothing for this minor antidote. But you've also got to remember that this minor antidote is going to be useful all the way to endgame if you actually want to sit here and use antidotes. I think the other one that we're going to want to do is not blindness. I don't think we could make it yet. It is specifically, we're going to want the one that cures paralysis, because those are the two that we are going to encounter the most. It's going to be something put poison on you and your healer is going a little bit too slow, and paralysis, because you just want to flick that that status ailment off you right now, because the only reason why you got it was because you were standing in the wrong spot. Shoes. There we go. Oh, I already have one. Am I actually wearing it? Oh, I'm actually wearing it. Who knew? What? What is it now? Guild for the Poor? Another cursed love filter. Ah, you're that wretch that insists on busting my bench, aren't you? No? Then who? Oh, my new assistant. No, don't bother me with more names. My mind shall not be cluttered with trivial details unrelated to alchemical processes. I trust that you have busied yourself with the mastery of your discipline. I have scant moments to spare on lessons, but I suppose that I must invent a modicum of time. Oh, invest. I'm gonna create more hours on the clock. Welcome to the 26th hour of the day. If you are to be of any use to me, let us move on to the second fundamental principle of alchemy. Your understanding of this principle will be best facilitated by creating 3 bottles of antidote. For this task, you'll need to acquire some stipulated number of grass vipers as well as a chunk of rock salt. I believe the guild often has the poisonous snakes in stock if you need to only purchase them from the supplier last. Oh yeah, Esmenant. As for the rock salt, I believe she can supply that too, and for a reasonable price. I rather suggest seeing her for all of your simple ingredient needs, unless you fancy the idea of scrabbling from the sand to find them yourself. In any case, I am not terribly concerned of how you procure your materials. What is most important is that you experience this fundamental principle firsthand. As you concoct 3 bottles of antidote, return to me with bliss of new knowledge stamped upon your features. What? You've already completed it? Yeah, I completed it for myself, but I guess you could have 3 of them. Ah, excellent result. My precarious protege with 2 accent marks in it, that I always forget has 2 accent marks in it. I see you have obtained the optimum viscosity without clouding the crimson hue. It is the most interesting to see how well these mixtures perform on live test subjects. Well, of course, they'll be poisoned. How else would you gauge the efficacy of your work? But never mind that. You have learned the second alchemical principle, that you have produced a helpful compound by combining otherwise mundane and or lethally harmful substances. has this not expanded your awareness of what is obtainable with this profession? Just as it is possible for a medicine to act as poison in sufficient amounts, so is it possible for a poison to be utilized as a cure. Your successful creation of these antidotes is evidence of that very fact. Those without a knowledge of alchemy would spare not a second glance for the venomous grass viper, but mix its venom with the appropriate amount of rock salt and people will flock to your door to purchase your miraculous remedy. Study, experiment, and reveal worth in the most unexpected places. The desire for sustenance and rest will become as minor annoyances once you have learned the joy of such discoveries. It is time you added this amateur's mortar to your repertoire of alchemical devices. The mortar is often referred to as a secondary tool, but used in conjunction with a primary tool such as an emblic, you will soon come to appreciate its value in your work. I foresee such practical use in your growing skills, my eager apprentice. Now run along and find a use for your new toy. I have further research to conduct. Okay. What exactly did I want again? I'll just get the coins. To be completely honest, once you've hit that equilibrium with your storyteller, is that for is that, yeah, 30 unique quests. There you go. Hit level 10, hit level 20, hit level 20. Okay. Let's see. We still got a few things in our crafting log. I kind of want to get this back up to 20. And equip. There we go. 15. Right. So we got a few things that we need to do. Now that I've actually done all the crafting and gathering classes that I could do here, I'm actually going to talk about something kind of interesting that I kind of wanted to showcase. So I mentioned in the first episode that originally there was going to be 6 starting areas, and in like 1.0 before they pared it back for the actual release of 1.0. And I've actually been thinking about like what classes I'm going to quote unquote mainline as my given classes. Now you might be thinking, oh, so just like one from each of these. You might think that, but I actually wanted to pick classes that utilize every single armor set. And you may think that's a little weird, and of course it is. So, what we are going to do is I'm staying as Gladiator. I'm not moving down to these for like my quote main tank. But I will be picking up Arcanist. The reason for that is so that I can pick up Healer in one fell swoop. So it's 2 of those. Then I'm going to pick up Lancer as well. In Gridania. And originally I was going to pick Conjurer for that, but believe it or not, I'm not going to be mainlining Scholar, I'm going to be mainlining Sage. So the idea of it is Gladiator for Ul'dah, Arcanist for... Yeah, Arcanist for... Yeah, Arcanist for Linsa Lamensa, Lancer for Gridania. Then I'm going to pick up Machinist when I actually go over to, or at least I'm going to mainline Machinist for purposes of role stuff. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pick up Sage when we eventually get to Endwalker stuff. I'm going to pick up Samurai when we get to Stormblood stuff. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because, again, again, I didn't just want to go like, oh, the second I hit level 30, I'm going to switch from an archer to a warrior. I'm not doing that, where it's like I adhere to the quote-unquote canonical classes of the Warrior of Light. What I actually wanted to do was I wanted to showcase certain storylines that pertain to each of the city-states. And I feel like Machinist for Ishgard and Samurai for Shorgane and Sage for Charlian is the best way to go forward here. Again, like, I'm not talking about the story just yet when we get to them, but I still feel like that all of these things are going to be important. And again, Arcanist to Summoner is one of my favorite classes in this game. So is Machinist. And Gladiator is basically the only tank I really care about. But I also think Sage is one of the best healers. And I was going to... and funny enough, even though I'm picking everything, you're going to see why in a little bit. Well, not in a little bit. This is like hundreds of episodes later. Why me picking certain classes will actually give us more of an advantage. Now, I had this question posed to me because at this point I had actually uploaded episode 1, and I had this question posed to me of how far and how long is this going to take, and one of those funny things is that I do not know, and that's one of the funnest parts about this whole experience, is that I am literally just pushing forward as a wide range when there's so many people out there that just go the narrow, I'm only mainlining the story, which is why I wanted to showcase crafting stuff this early. Like, think about this. On my Gladiator right now is gear that I made. Like, stuff that I made for my character. And I feel like there's something about that that's so special that you don't really get if you just mainline the story and then just, like, spearhead all the way through things and not just take things as they are given to you. Just think about this. When we get to a certain part of the story, I'm going to explain why I wanted to do certain things. And one of those things is that I wanted to specifically pinpoint one character storyline to go down. And when we get to the end of that storyline, it's going to be so satisfying because we actually did everything working ourselves up to it. And one of the funny things is because we're doing all this as well, when we're actually out of A Realm Reborn, some of that stuff comes in handy. Like, for instance, several of these classes have really unique, actually, several character choices, in fact, have very interesting, synergies with some story bits, and I actually kind of like that. But yeah, this is my frantic rant basically over, but I'm going to basically be here for a little bit. I've got to get Alchemist up a little bit more, and next time you see me, I'm basically going to be down and doing more of the Gladiator storyline. I still have yet to do that. This is the level 15 one. Completing that, and then the main story quest will give us a level 21. That's going to be pretty great. So, yeah, we're going to head down there in a bit. Oh my gosh. Like, I just wanted to, like, put this in here because it's so much liberating to be told, hey, this is a really cool thing. So, I'm going to just throw this in here of, like, thanks everyone for watching. I don't know if this is going to be the end of a video, or, like, I'm going to take all the crafting stuff and just shove it all together into one episode. But that's most likely what's going to probably happen. So, let's get on to get back to like actual story stuff with our combat classes.